Hi TCG fam, Chart Gal Lori here. I will be going over the Fab 5. I am going to go over the current setups, go over monthly, weekly, 4-hour and hourly on ES, NASDAQ, RTY, which is our IWM, and YM, our Dow. And we as a TCG fam, we don't talk about the Dow a lot. We talk about the Dow components, but I think it's an important instrument and tool to our futures toolkit, so I thought I'd go over that as well. So let's get started with ES. ES on the monthly, as we know, we got a higher high and now we're looking for a higher low relative to 2316. I would just like to introduce a new set of EMAs, not to confuse everybody even more, because if you just watch other traders, it's the 3, the 8, the 4, the 5, the 20, the 24, the 367. So I'm not trying to confuse things with EMAs. I know with crypto 12 and 26, for example, works the best. I know if I'm scalping high tech in shorter time frames, 4 and 8 is the best. And what I have found on most time frames, on all time frames, actually for futures, 8 and 21 work the best for me. So as you can see, the 21 is the red line and the 8 is the green line. So if you'll indulge me a little bit with futures, I will be using the 8 and 21. So as you can see, ES on the monthly is just now in danger of losing the 8 EMA. It has just started as of yesterday. So it's just started, so it hasn't quite lost it. It could still close above the 8 EMA on the monthly, which is 2778. So on the weekly, we lost our higher low pattern. We're looking for a close possibly over the 21 EMA to prevent that TCG bear cross. So the 21 EMA on the weekly for ES is at 28.23. The 8 EMA. The 4 is at 28.0975. Excuse me. The 21. See how often I use the 4 and 8? That when I talk about it all the time, it automatically, my brain goes to 4 and 8. So again, 8 and 21. 8 is green, the red is 21. And so for these EMAs to not lose and have a bear cross, the price needs to close above the 21 EMA at 28.0975 before the end of the week. So that kind of covers the weekly candle. Daily candle needs to hold this 27.2650 price support, and it should hold due to RSI levels. And I say should, we know with news things can get more extended than we could normally anticipate. So right now the daily RSI is at 32. I would love a possible back test of this 8 EMA up here at 2782 and as the first target, and then we would be searching for a higher low compared to today's low of 27.28. On the 4-hour, look at this bull volume. Here in TCG, we've been covering it takes a lot more bear volume to bring down price typically than it takes for bull volume to run it up. If you break down these candles, even these volume bars, even on lower time frames, you can see the majority of this volume on ES was bull volume. So that's looking pretty good with nice lower wicks. We had some wickety wicks on the top, but we did have some news flares today. So with the 4-hour, we need this bull volume to keep going, but I don't see us breaking this 27.6950 easily without some type of tweet or news on this 8 EMA, which is the green, which we're fighting with now. But it's this price level at 27.6950. I don't see us running past that to a higher high. It could possibly happen because RSI definitely would allow for it. It's just not the character that what we've been seeing of the market. But I would hope that we could get a higher low relative to 27.2875. And then on the hourly, what's very promising is this could be a possible bull flag. Again, we need to hold 27.47 area is this 21 EMA. And if we could just break this level right here of 27.5675, that's the high of that news reaction today, then we would have a higher high on the 1-hour, and that would be a trend change. That would give bulls a little hope. But as we know, when we have levels so close by, we need those levels to break within short order. So that would be 27.5675 would need a break, and then 27.6375. So that's the hourly on ES. NASDAQ, this is our monthly view. Again, it held the 21 EMA on the monthly. It needs to close above 71.67 to close above the 8 EMA on the monthly. We had elevated bear volume last month, and that's what it takes to bring down price in this environment. And we're, of course, looking for that monthly higher low. And on the weekly, we did break our uptrend, and we are now in a downtrend. But what's a little bit promising for me as I study these charts is this decreasing bear volume on the way down. So that's a little bit promising for the bulls on NASDAQ. As we know, NASDAQ got some pretty gnarly news today. So this volume bar has not closed here. So we would hope it would close below this bar to get that decreasing bear volume to continue, meaning bulls. The daily, the RSI is 27. It is pretty beat up on NASDAQ. If you want to use this tool, which one of our members created, which is pretty cool, it's RSI levels, and it estimates at what level would RSI be and price simultaneously. So if price were to get down to 68.47, the RSI on the daily would be 24. And also, what's coincidentally very interesting is, let's clear that off. And this is RSI levels. Let me show you in indicators what it is. It is RSI levels 20 to 30 and 70-80 by Abdomi, ABDOMI, with 157 likes. That is the calculator to use. If at what price would RSI be? So I think it's kind of interesting that NASDAQ RSI of 24, which is very low for a NASDAQ daily RSI, also lines up with a fib. So let's hide this. And then let's go back to weekly, and then let's do a quick fib retracement here. So here, the 50% retracement from the horrid December low on December 24th, a 50% retracement would be 68.50, which lines up nicely with that daily RSI of 24. So it just keeps coming up on all my different time frames, 68.50 on NASDAQ as a key level. So yes, that would bring the RSI daily to 24, like I said, and weekly would be approaching oversold if it were to get that low. On the 4 hour, it looks the weakest. So when we look at this volume here, it is extremely low compared to the other three sectors. It does have a nice lower wick. It needs to bounce to hit that 8 EMA, then a back test and hold that low to get over this level of 71.3250. But again, QQQ is by far our weakest sector. It was the lead bull. Just another fun fact, when we look at these daily charts, look at these candles. I know some of you use Heiken Ashi candles. Heiken Ashi candles gets rid of the open and the close, and it just kind of levels out the candles, and so you have an average and you can see a trend. Let's do that right now. So in Heiken Ashi, you see how it just shows you that trend so clearly. Well, these candles going up and even down, these are our standard candles, yet they look like Heiken Ashi because the trend was just so strong and so clear. So hopefully this waterfall of bear action, and I say hopefully as in for our 401ks, for those that have them, or retirement plans, that we get some type of bounce, some type of reprieve. So 78.50 seems to keep coming up as a key level on NASDAQ. And on the hourly, we are looking for a possible 709.3 test. So that would be 0.382 up here, and that would clear this EMA. So that may be a little bit too bold of a call. And again, I'm not making any calls. I'm just looking at what most likely scenario. And I really like this bull volume that picked up on the hourly and this low bear volume on this consolidation. But again, we would have to clear 709.650 to have a trend change, and then we'd have to get that higher low. Okay, and I'm going to hold off, even though I put the Russell here. I'm going to save that for last. So YM, our Dow Jones component, YMM9, which is our current contract that we are trading, and all of these contracts expire June 21st. And if you want to go out into the future, the next contract would expire on September 20th, but again, doesn't have the great liquidity that we do trading these M9 contracts that expire June 21st. And again, this is just this is looking at the current environment. I'll be making another video that goes over basics of futures and what these M9 and June 21st, September 20th, what all that means. Okay, on Dow, again, look at this 21 EMA. This red line is holding nicely on the monthly. We need to close above 25,295 to get back above the 8 EMA on the monthly. So on the monthly, the Dow, it already set a lower high over here. So we have our higher high, lower low, lower high, and now we're looking for our higher low to tighten in this equilibrium. So let's just say, for fun's sake, that this 26,694 right here would hold. Then that would be the high of this equilibrium, and then the low would be 24,610. So we would have that range to tighten up on the monthly, and look for a break over here, I would say in the October-ish, let's just say third to fourth quarter of this year. So that's the monthly vantage point. On the weekly, of course, we've lost our uptrend on the Dow. One thing that was just a little bit comforting for bulls is there was decreasing bear volume on this pullback here the last 2 weeks. That is unlike the weekly chart of the other sectors, such as NASDAQ, which had elevated bear volume. So that's slightly reassuring. As we know, over in here, that's when the Boeing had bad news, which is a large Dow component. Okay, so the Dow on the daily, we need 25,717. That's right here to have a trend change. The most likely scenario is that we would bounce here around the 8 EMA, which is 25138. Then a possible low hold of the low is what the bulls will be looking for. 24,610, the low of day, needs to hold, and then we could have further continuation. As you can see, since we got this TCG bear cross back on May 6th, it has been all bad news bears down for the Dow. So it would be nice to get a TCG bull cross and get a little green in our days. But until then, we stay agile. On the 4 hour. 4 hour, actually the Dow was the closest. For the Dow to get a 4 hour higher high, they need to break 24,990. They have wonderful elevated bull volume. Again, looking for that higher low on the 4 hour relative to 24,610. And we've got 24,974 right here. Let's just call it 25,000 even brick wall, which lines up with our higher high and the 21 EMA that we really need to clear. So I personally have written this down in my notes to watch the Dow and see if this level can break. And let's see, the daily RSI on Dow is 33. So just making note of that. On the hourly, we have a double top here, so 24,923. We got a double top, and we have a current bull flag. Let me hide VWAP, excuse me. And we have a back test of these EMAs on low bear volume, looking very promising for the YM bulls. So, and we're holding this 8 EMA on the hourly, and we have a TCG bull cross. So again, we need to break this double top of 24,923. Let's just stop here and go over how you would make a trade. I know I said I wouldn't do the basics of futures, but let's just look at a quick trade. So on Excel, on this YM chart, if we were going to short this level, and it stopped to the tick, by the way, 24,923. And then we're going to do a price range of how many ticks was this? That was 69 ticks. So if we were to short that double top over here on YM, a dollar tick has a value of $5. So a $5 value on, was it let's just say 70 ticks times $5 on one contract. All right, not that good at Excel when I'm live, I guess. That would be a $350 profit on that quick, just double top on one contract. So that's how I like to trade the futures, is play double tops, double bottoms, because of risk to reward. I saved RTY to last because after studying this evening, I realized something. Dan has probably covered this in other videos. I haven't watched today's video, but Uh, when we were back in September, IWM was our canary. It was just pushing and pushing to higher highs. And then when it dumped in December, it really dumped. And it never got to higher highs or even closer to higher highs like the other sectors. I think that's really telling that was our canary. Okay, so if we're saying that RTY, so IWM is our canary, then what is it telling us now? So let me just stop right here and go back to these monthly charts. So monthly here, it has not held the 8 EMA or 21 EMA. It's the only sector that lost the 21 EMA on the monthly. Clear this out. So as you can see, YM held the 21 EMA. NASDAQ held the 21 EMA. No problem. Easy peasy. ES held the 21 EMA. What didn't? IWM. So IWM is very weak. It led the strength out the gate, and it's also leading the weakness down in these bear times we've had the last month or so. So what is it telling us now? On the weekly, we made those lower lows. We had decreasing bear volume. It has bull volume now this week. It's stronger than the other three sectors. Is it our canary leading us out of the bear cave, going back to bull country? We'll see. So on the daily, we had increasing, very promising bull volume. We need to break 1523.90 and then get a higher low in order to get a price change, a trend change. On the 4-hour, impressive bull volume, the first sector to test the 4-hour 21 EMA. Look at that perfect touch to the penny of the 21 EMA. The bulls were on fire today with IWM. So I am looking to IWM as my canary. So how would I trade that? How would that turn that into a trade? If RTY is making higher highs, higher lows, then I may trade ES as a laggard to RTY. NASDAQ, I would stay away from slightly as at least as a laggard trade because it has a lot of news. It's been having a lot of bear news lately. So RTY, I am declaring it as our canary. On the 1 hour, we have a beautiful bull flag and beautiful EQ. So for a bull break of this EQ, we need to break 1477, and your support is 1462.50. Thank you for hanging in there for the Fab 4 futures. Let's see. I will wait for feedback to see if this is something that I continue to do. If it provides value to you, then I'd love to keep doing it. So I look forward to your feedback, and I hope you have a great evening.